Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Root Yoga Therapy. I'm Jasmine Leventhal, your certified yoga therapist, and we're here at 21 weeks pregnant. So last week we talked about core, and I showed safe ways to start to strengthen and work the core as we head into the next 20 weeks. We're going to bring in some of those tools in our practice today, as well as some beautiful stretches to help you find a little more space and ease in your body. So jump into something comfy and join me on your mat. All right, welcome back. So we are going to start today's practice in a standing position. We're going to start, as always, by finding our breath, work a little into the core, and then get into some of those juicy stretches. So find a nice standing position that's comfortable in your body. I really prefer hips distance apart in the feet. That's going to offer the most stability, especially now as our weight and balance is shifting. So starting with that nice feet hips distance apart. And if you're unsure about where that is, it's about 2 fistfuls. So if you were to take 2 fists, put them together and place them in between the feet, they should pretty much line up right underneath your hips. All right. One hand's going to go on my diaphragm. One hand's going to go on my lower belly. So I'm kind of framing my little guy. You might be framing your little girl. And then we're going to start to soften the eyes to close. And this is a really important part of the practice because it helps us give a baseline for kind of where we are, where our energy is, how we're feeling, what parts of us might feel sore, what parts might feel really strong. So just taking those few moments to dive into your body. And then, of course, I love using this time to kind of send a little mental love note to my little one. My little yogi in the making. And we're just looking for that nice evenness of breath. And that functional breath is going to mean that your body expands on the inhale and contracts actively on the exhalation. So most of our everyday breathing has more of a passive exhale. But during your practice, I'm going to encourage a stronger exhalation to help you use some of those core muscles and really connect back with that space. It is important for the health of our spine, the support of our body, and of course for our strength. So again, finding those gentle inhales. And then a long, steady exhale, navel draws in. And you should feel, especially if your hands are on your belly, you should feel that belly kind of shrink up. And then inhale, feel that belly get nice and big. Exhale, drawing everything in. Good. Inhale, nice big breath. Exhale, drawing it in. Inhale, nice big breath. Exhale, drawing it in. And hopefully as we practice, the breath gets steadier, gets longer and deeper as we continue to become better at controlling our rhythm. So I'm going to show you a side profile. We're just going to continue to warm up this pelvis area. And I'm going to have my hands on my hips. So this is a good place to be. We're going to do pelvic tilts. Really nice way to kind of know where our body is in space. And as our bellies tend to get bigger, it's naturally going to want to pull that lower spine forward. So it'll be important to kind of know when we're compressing here and how to adjust for our body. So hands are going to come on the hips. We're going to exaggerate the movement on the inhale. Tilt the pelvis forward, let the belly expand. And then as you exhale, tailbone kind of releases to the heels and the front ribs roll up, or the pelvic bones, the frontal pelvic bones roll up to those lower ribs. Okay? Inhale, let everything hang out, tilting the pelvis forward. Exhale, shifting those pelvic bones up towards those lower ribs. And you can see how much smaller my belly gets. Good, we'll take a few more. Inhale, tilting the pelvis forward, let everything get nice and big, kind of hang out. Exhale, pull it all in, tailbone towards the heels. Good, 3 more. Inhale, tilting forward. Exhale, curling it in. Good, inhale, tilt it forward. Exhale, coil it in. Inhale, tilting forward. Exhale, coil it in. Good. Now we can find our neutral shape. So we're not in that extreme tilt forward, and we're also not in that posterior tilt backward, right? So the pelvis isn't tilting backwards, nor is it tilting extremely forward. We're finding our neutral, and that should feel a lot more comfortable on this lower back. That's the posture I'm going to encourage you maintain, not just in our practice, but throughout the day, and especially throughout the next 20 weeks. So we're going to face forward once again, and we'll just start with some really gentle side stretches. Feet are going to be nice and parallel, and we'll find the breath here. So we'll inhale and center. Left hand is going to come to belly. As you exhale, sweeping the right arm up and over. Inhale, come to center, right hand to belly. Exhale, sweeping the left arm up and over. Inhale, center. Exhale, sweep the arm. Inhale, center. Exhale, sweep the arm. Good, 2 more. Inhaling, center. Exhale, sweep the arm. And again, inhale, center. And sweep the arm. Last round, inhaling, center. Good, that right arm lengthens, find that space. And inhale, center. Exhale, big space. Inhale, center. And exhale, finishing off the movement. Let's go ahead and rotate our toes out and our heels in. We're going to do some squats just to warm up the legs and the hips. Okay, so you can have your hips, you can have your hands on your thighs. You decide, and we'll also give the option to have the hands overhead. Okay, so we'll take an inhale, begin to bend the knees, squat down. Again, hands on tops of thighs or hips, maybe arms up. As you exhale, hands can come to heart if they were overhead, or keep them on the thighs and hips as you come up. Inhale, dropping in. Exhale, rising up. Good, inhale, dropping in. Exhale, rise back up. Good, 3 more. Last 2. And last 1. Good. Slide the hands to the thighs if they're not there already. Go ahead and bend the knees and just shift from side to side, just rocking the weight here. And then pausing in center, lift the heart, taking a gentle twist by dipping into the right shoulder. So inhaling in center, exhale, gently dipping into the shoulder, maybe shifting your gaze towards the back wall. Inhale, takes you center. Exhale, dip left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale to dip. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. 1 more. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Straighten the legs and come to a stand. Revolve your toes back so they're parallel, facing the edge of your mat. And then as you inhale, lift the chest. As you exhale, fold in, hands down the sides of the legs, fingertips to the floor. If you can't meet the floor, please have blocks underneath your hands. And maybe heel toe those feet out a little wider if you want to work a little deeper into your flexibility. And just breathing here, maybe bending the elbows, finding that deeper fold. Take one more inhale. Exhale, big sigh. Letting it go. Gently walk your hands over towards that left foot. Find that stretch to the right side. Pull your right hip back. Nice little side bend here. Good. Next inhale, walk your hands through center over to that right foot. Nice big side bend into the left side body. 3 breaths. Good. Inhaling, come back to center. Very gently bringing the left hand to the left hip, right hand to right hip, and slowly with that strong back and belly, come all the way up to a stand. Carefully step or walk the feet together, and we're going to face the top of the mat. So you'll see my profile, and we'll be at the top of the mat here. Good. Once at the top of the mat, interlace the hands behind you. And then notice which thumb is on top here, because we'll take a switch in a moment. As you inhale, knuckles release down the back of the body, heart lifts skyward, full breath in. And then as you exhale, soft bend in the knees, maybe widen the feet, folding forward. And we'll make that the little movement. Inhale, reaching up, heart up and back, coming to that standing pose. Exhale, bend the knees and fold in. 2 more. Inhale, pull those knuckles back, steering the heart forward and upward. Exhale, folding in. Last one. Inhale, heart pulls forward and upward. Exhale, fold in. Once you get into that fold, pause here, releasing crown of the head down towards those toes. Taking one more inhale. Exhale, releasing your hands down towards your mat. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift, heart pulls forward. Exhale, bending over those thighs, refold. Good, one more. Inhale, halfway lift, heart presses forward. Exhale, refold over those thighs. Releasing your hands to the mat, step your left leg back, and this is a great place to grab that couch pillow or blanket and pat up that back knee. Good. So carefully lowering down on that back knee, sinking into the hips. As you inhale, reaching the arms forward and up. So we're going to move in and out of the hips here. If your balance is a little wonky today, which I know mine is on some days, I'm like teaching. I'm trying to demo and I'm all over the place. Just place your hands on your hips or keep your hands on the top of your right thigh. Totally your choice. So what's really helpful is if you walk that right foot out to the right a couple inches, and it'll give you a little more stability here. Okay? So as you inhale, you're going to press out of that right heel. And when you do, you're going to kind of draw, whoopsie, thank goodness I have this one. You're going to kind of draw the belly in a little bit and find that little activation. Okay? So full breath. Good. Pressing into that right heel, lifting up and out. So we're just pulling, the belly is still expanding, but we're just kind of keeping that neutral. And then as you exhale, don't let it all hang out over your thigh. Draw the belly in a little more, the hips. Okay? Inhaling, finding that nice neutral spine. Exhale, sink in. Good. Inhale, nice neutral spine. Exhale, sinking in. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Pause here if you're feeling a little more like I am. You can start to reach the arms up overhead. Maybe the palms touch. Find one more inhale. Exhale, lengthen the hands forward, releasing them down towards your front foot. Good. We're going to grab one of our blocks or one of the other props that you might be working with, and you're going to place it underneath your left hand. Gently inhale, opening up. Exhale as you rotate. Good. Carefully on the next out breath, you're going to lower the right hand down. I'm going to pull my other block in with me. Okay, so that'll be the movement. Inhale, get long. Exhale, skyward. Pause here. Take a nice breath in. Exhale, hand down. 2 more. Inhaling here. Exhale, send those fingertips skyward. Inhale here. Exhale, release. 1 more. Inhaling here. Exhale, fingers skyward. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Nice job. We're going to shift those blocks 1 height higher, maybe 2 heights depending on the space in your hamstring. Sink the hips back, kind of gliding the right heel forward and working that front leg straight. So once we get here, if you feel you're like, I have a little more space in my body today, you can lower the blocks, you can take a little bend into the elbows, that's fine too. You want to find a place that's comfortable for you. As always, we have to remember that we have this relaxin hormone in the body, and we can easily overstretch. So even though you might feel really bendy, you want to be mindful not to overstretch. And on the contrary, you actually might feel really tight because everything is so loose. So really be mindful of your body and encourage yourself just to go to where it feels comfortable and not further. Last 3 breaths here. Good. Take 1 more inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to send the left arm skyward. So right hand's going to stay down. Leg is going to stay straight. Left arm's going to reach skyward. You're going to find that nice opening around the chest, working a little deeper into that groin, to the back of the right leg. Good. 1 more full breath in. Exhale, releasing the left hand down, rebending into the right knee. And then tucking those left toes, lift the left knee off the floor. Walk your hands or blocks to the top of your foot, and then gently shifting that weight forward. And we're going to carefully bring left foot forward to meet the right, folding at the top of our space. Good. As you inhale, bringing the hands to the hips, come forward with the heart, and slowly rise to that stand. Really nice. Take the interlace of the hands the opposite way. So you might feel now the opposite thumb is on top. Same thing here. We'll move in and out of those folds. Find that nice distance in the feet, hips distance for that maximum sense of stability. And then as you inhale, knuckles draw down knuckles draw down the back body, heart lifts skyward. Exhale, folding in. Good. Inhale, heart forward and upward. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, heart forward and upward. Exhale, fold in. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Pause here, taking a couple breaths across your chest, and then gently releasing the hands all the way down by the toes. Hands climb up to the shins. Inhale, heart presses forward, push the hips back. Exhale, refold over thighs. 1 more. Inhale, heart presses forward, hips press back. Exhale, refold. Good. Hands down by the foot, maybe hands on blocks or your props, whatever you're using. Go ahead and step that right leg back. Your blanket should still be on your mat if you were using one, and release your right knee down. And oh my gosh, I am so sore in my inner groin here on this side. Very interesting to notice the differences that we might feel on each side and why that happens, right? There's always some sort of imbalance in the body. So just something to notice. So once you feel nice and ready, you're going to climb the hands to the top of the thigh. Maybe hands are going to stay on hips. If you're super grounded and
want to reach the arms skyward. I already can feel myself a little wonky, so I'm going to keep hands on hips, but certainly go to your edge. So as we inhale, we're finding that neutral spine, pressing into the left heel. Exhale, navel to spine. Feel free to reach the arms up overhead. Maybe those palms touch if you have that extra space in the shoulders. One full breath in. Exhale, hands all the way down towards your foot, maybe on your blocks. And we'll be moving into that little twist. So rooting down into that right hand. This is this double breath practice. Inhale, getting a little longer. Exhale, left arm skyward. Pause here. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, releasing the hand down. 3 more. Inhale, heart lengthens. Exhale, fingertips skyward. Inhaling here. Exhale, hand down. Last 2. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left arm skyward. Inhale here. Exhale, release down. Nice. Last one. Inhaling here. Exhale, reach it up. Inhale here. Exhale, release it down. Nice job shifting those blocks one height at least higher to get started, and then sinking your hips back towards your right heel. Glide the left leg forward, working it straight, and then just noticing, maybe this is my edge today. Maybe I have a little more space and I can release the blocks or add that little bend into the elbows. We don't want this massive curve into the spine, so encourage the heart to move towards the toes. Find your breath here, keeping in mind where your edge is. Last 2 breaths. And then go ahead and bend back into your left. No, wait, pause. Do not bend into your left knee just yet. Root down into your left hand. Let's take that nice opening here. As you exhale, extend the right fingertips skyward. Find that deeper stretch. I kind of like to press my hips back a little bit, and that kind of gets a little more into my groin, which feels really good. As I said, I was a little more sore on this side. Good. Taking one more inhale here. Exhale, release the right hand down. Now go ahead, let's bend back into our left knee. Walk your blocks towards the top of those left toes. Tuck your back toes, lift your right knee off the mat, and then gently step, hop, or glide that right foot forward. Good, folding in. And just a couple breaths here. Soften around the knees. Focus that breath into the back of the body. And then I'm going to move my blocks off to the side. We're going to move in and out of a chair pose. So kind of like a squat here, right? You're going to widen the feet. Again, have it hips distance apart so you feel nice and stable. As you inhale, bend your knees, release your hips, reach the arms forward. If you have that space in the shoulders to bring the biceps closer to the ears, you can. And then exhale, folding back in. Good. We'll take 3 more like that. Inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, reach the arms. Exhale, fold back in. Last 2, bend the knees, drop the hips, reach the arms. Exhale, folding in. Last one, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold back in. Really nice. Slowly bring hands to hips, soften around the knees, press the heart forward, lifting halfway, pause. And then extending the right arm forward, bicep towards ear. You'll feel your back start to fire up here. And then left arm forward. So really long. Try not to round in the spine. Encourage that back to get strong, the belly to draw in. One more breath. And exhale, folding in. Nice work. Good, and then you can kind of shake that out, maybe sway the torso side to side. I definitely feel the heat building in my body, so hopefully you do too. Good, and then very carefully, rooting into your hands, step your left leg back, followed by the right leg, and then lower the knees to the mat or to your blanket. Walk your hands back about an inch, just so they're not like way in front of the shoulders. And then you're going to shift your shoulders over your wrists. So coming into a modified plank position, draw the belly in, and then notice we're using that little tilt, right? Tailbone towards the heels. Heart pulls forward. Engage here. Good. Little mini push-ups. Taking an inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, push up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, push up. Exhale, bend. Good. Inhale, push up. Child's pose. Glide those hips towards your heels. Separate the knees and kind of settle in. You can rest your forehead on the mat, or you can grab one of your props and rest your forehead on the block or a stack of pillows. And just finding some space here, some softness into the body. Very nice. Slowly coming back into your hands and knees position. If you have your props on your mat, like your block or something you were using to support your head, just shift it. And we're going to come to a reclining position on our back to just do some bridges. So a couple of things. We don't want to be flat on our back here. So it is important to recline. I'm going to adjust my pants. It is important to recline. So with that, I like to use my props and kind of make a little shelf for my bolster to go over. So this will probably have to be on this first height here. And then it kind of just hangs out like that. If you don't have a setup or the props to do a setup like this at home, you can stagger a couple pillows and just kind of have a thicker one behind you and then a thinner one and then maybe a very low one. But you just want to feel slightly propped up. If you have a pregnancy pillow, those are really great for creating something similar as long as you're propped up and not flat on your back. Okay. So I'm going to kind of just come down. And I'm actually going to use my blanket here to give me a little more support across the top of my bolster to support my head and neck. And then I'm going to come down. And now my head isn't in too much extension, and I have like a nice neutral spine. Okay, so I feel safe to do my bridges here, activate into my glutes, work my core and my legs a little more, and we'll have the hands resting alongside the hips. Feet again, hips distance apart, pressing into the feet. Take an inhale, lifting the hips. Exhale, lower down. Good. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower down. 3 more. Inhale, lift the hips. And lower down. Last 2. And last one. Pause here. Keep lifting. Lift the toes so you're pressing solely into the heels of the feet, working those glutes, working those hamstrings. 1 more breath in. Exhale, soften the toes, lower all the way down. Very nice. Pausing here for a moment. Widen the feet as wide as your mat. And then just go ahead and drop the knees over to the right, getting a little stretch into the hips. Good. As you inhale. Now you just kind of moved a little bit. As you inhale, bring the knees back to center, drop them to the left, getting that little stretch into the hips. See, as I'm still here, I feel my baby moving all around, kicking. I don't know if you're feeling movements yet, but if you are, it's really fun, especially when I do yoga. Good. Inhale, coming back to center. And then roll all the way just to one side, and you're going to carefully press back into a seat. Good. We'll just finish off with a little hip stretch. Find butterfly pose. I'll show you from the side profile because we're going to kind of do a little back bend and then fold. So soles of the feet together, knees are out nice and wide. Hands are going to come behind you in the beginning. Inhale, lifting the chest and like pressing the pelvis forward, right? Belly's all nice and big. And then as you exhale, sweeping the hands towards the ankles or shins and folding in. And we'll make that the little movement. Inhale, hands behind you, press the heart and hips forward. Exhale, folding in. Good, 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, folding in. Last one, inhale. Exhale, folding in. We'll hold this fold. So if you want to walk the hands forward, come onto the fingertips, maybe soften the forearms to the floor. Whatever you do that feels really comfortable in your body, this is a good place to be, to do it. And sometimes I like to sway or rock side to side, kind of massaging into the stretch, and then working towards that sense of stillness. And last couple of breaths here. And slowly walking your hands back towards your shins, guiding the knees back in, and then pushing into the hands. Shift your way back. If you have this set up still in your reclined position, we're going to finish on those pillows. So we're going to finish in the reclining position, nice and comfortable. If you like that butterfly pose, that opening around the hips, you can take it here. If you're feeling a little wonky today in your lower back, it might feel better to have the knees bent or maybe even knock the knees in. Good. And we'll close off, just getting nice and comfy. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And again, moving back towards a really even, soft breath. So kind of letting go of any of those contractions, that stronger work with the breath, and moving to something a little softer. And as always, I recommend staying here for at least 5 minutes. So feel free to continue reclining and resting for as long as you have. If you don't have the time to invite in the next few minutes for rest, you'll roll to one side and gently press back into a comfortable seated position. And we'll close off the practice with the hands at the center of the heart, really honoring our time on our mat, caring for our health, our well-being, and the well-being of our little one as well. Thank you, moms, for joining me at our 21-week practice. And if you like what we're doing and want to continue to follow us through the next several weeks and beyond, feel free to subscribe to our channel and also to comment on this video, asking questions about anything you'd like me to address in future videos. I'm happy to touch upon some of these subjects, some of the pains or aches or concerns that I feel I can help with in our yoga practice, or give you tools to help anything that you want to work through. So, until next time, namaste.